today we're going to be testing the Sears Homart Cooler here in the window. I'm going to mount it in this window and see how much air it can pull through the house. It's a little dirty, but not too bad. It doesn't really matter all that much for a test because it's blowing the air outside anyways, so if it's dusty or dirty, oh well. I think this guard can be removed from the two screws at the top, and then it like opens down. I want to take a quick look at the motor and see if there's any lubrication ports. I'll throw a couple drops of oil in there if we can. That's pretty easy. I don't know if the belt's still good or not. It's probably not. It's very actually the belt's in terrible condition. Hopefully we can get by for a couple days with this. I'll order a new one at some point over the winter. It's pretty reasonable tension still. Yeah, I think it'll work. It's definitely cracked and breaking apart. So I'll have to replace that before we use it with any regularity. But yeah, everything seems decent in here. There's actually plenty of oil here in the shaft. I don't know if somebody oiled this prior to me getting it or not in recent times, but looks like there's plenty of oil there. I'd like to service it myself at some point, but for now that's fine. The motor, I don't know if the motor, let me get a good thumbnail here. The motor, I don't know, is it ball bearing? No, it's not ball bearing. So the motor should have oil ports. Is that a port right there? I'd like to put a couple drops in the motor. At least the front bearing where all the tension is. Yeah, I think that's going to be our oil port right there. Let's do a little bit of vacuuming, get this cleaned out a little bit more than it is now. And we'll try to oil it up. And then we got to deal with the challenge of mounting this in the window. It's not difficult other than the weight. This is extremely heavy. Busted glass in there. Kind of weird. That's good enough for now. Eventually we'll go through and clean off the blades and everything too, but for the test, I'm not too concerned about it. Any dirt's just going to blow outside the house. Now the information tag has definitely seen better days. It is a, I want to say it's an 850, 1075 RPM motor. It's Craftsman branded, and it is, I wish I could see what the horsepower is. One-sixth. The 1/6 horsepower motor at 1075 RPM full speed. I don't think I'm going to replace the motor anytime soon, but if this like really works well, I might replace it with a PSC motor, because this is 4 amps. I mean, that's worse than running an air conditioner all night. Actually, I shouldn't say worse. It's about the same as running a 5000 BTU air conditioner. Yeah, this seems like it's in pretty good condition anyways. Oh man, those ports are really stuck. If we put a PSC motor in here, we could probably get this down to maybe 2.5 amps or so. And that's a big difference. You know, the intention with this is to actually run this overnight in the summertime. You know, like around this time of year when it's, well, it's getting pretty cold at nights already, but normally this time of year it's like 60s at night and in the 80s during the day. So just let this run continuously for this couple week period where it's like that in the spring and the fall would be great, and not use any air conditioners. Alright, is this lifting up at all? Man, that is really stuck. I didn't want to take the motor off today, but we might have to get this lubricated. There it goes. Oh, that's not the way I was expecting it to open. That's a pretty serious oil port. Wow. This can probably take like a quarter of the can per port. Alright, this should be good for now. I want to make sure this doesn't come off during operation and go flying across the yard. It seems like it's pretty good now. Oh, you know what? I see how it works now. Shoot, that probably wasn't supposed to come off. There's a little ball here that you could just stick the zoom spout through and add oil. Oh, shoot. No wonder it's not going back on nicely. It's not supposed to come off. Rats. Well, I have never worked on one of these before, so this unfortunately this is a learning experience. I think it's okay now though. Okay, well, at least I know better for the back one. That is actually a really cool design. Dang it, I really wish I didn't take that off now. Because it's not supposed to come off. I don't think this is... It's not sitting there quite right. But as long as it's not gonna come off, there it goes. This... I gotta try to get this lined up exactly the way it was before. There we go. Now it's back in the way it was before. Alright, good. So the proper thing to do would have been to just take this and zoom this in here. To just stick the spout in past there, like that, and then oil it. Alright, so that's lubricated. I don't see an oil port on the fan shaft, but it seems to be quite free. We can try to take off, break anything else here. We can try to take off this I'm going to take one of these screws off and see what's under there. Nothing. Huh. I don't see the shaft spinning in that hole. I don't think that that's where the bearing is. Actually, I don't know what the heck that screw does. Well, it kind of looks like it's just had oil put in through the shaft before, so we'll just do the same thing for now, and maybe somebody can provide some insight on how to properly oil this. Seems like the oil is soaking in there. I definitely don't think it's ball bearing. Alright, we're going to go with that. It's likely only going to see a couple hours this year anyways. Over the winter we can work on this more and get it ready for the spring. We'll take everything out, clean everything nicely. I think this actually, under the dust, is in very good condition. Yeah, the paint looks pretty good under there. I think this is going to clean up really nice. We need a belt first. Where did I put the belt? Here it is. You can tell it has not been used in a long time. It's got the flat spot on the belt there where it's sat. Yeah, this belt's pretty chewed apart. Does this have the numbers on it still? $23.80 is the number, maybe. Try to look that up later. 2380. And when you get these belts, you got to make sure that they're for electric motors and not for like gas powered stuff. The belts are different. The ones for electric motors are flimsier than the ones for gas. The tension seems reasonable enough to me. I don't think this is a spring-loaded tension. I think it's just whatever it is. Oh, there's an adjustment screw probably, I'm sure, to change it, but it's not automatic, I guess is what we're getting at here. Okay. Well, it certainly comes apart nicely for service. Alright, now we've got to get it into the window. So we will need to move the side panel out a little bit. Not exactly sure how much. I don't think more than like 2 or 3. Let me see here. Our window width is 80. So we want those holes to be at, let's say, like maybe 77 across. I don't think that that's where it is. Yeah, it's only 67, so we got to move it out about 10. You can tell this is adequate lubrication over the years, maybe even too much or the wrong way, because this is all oil drops that came off the shaft and flung on there during operation. These screws need some oil. this mechanism is working surprisingly well still. This is a little bit bent here. Wow, that's a strong metal. I can't fix that at this particular moment. No, I need to fix it because it's not going to sit in the window correctly if that's not fixed. Wow, I can't bend it by hand. That is some really strong metal. Wow. I wonder how this even got like that in the first place. Huh. I don't know how we're going to fix that. I might need to put it into a vise or something to try to take that out, take out that bend. This is not going to be... this might just barely work. Let's see. That's not going to help us envision something different. I'm going to try to use these to bend it out. I don't know if these will have enough mechanical advantage. I don't think this is working. That's great. I don't know how the heck that got bent. Because it's not this part that's the problem, it's this part. Because it's got the bend in it, so it's very, very strong. I can't even get it to budge. And the problem is it's going to sit up against the window and it's going to come away from the window because you know, it's not going to sit right on the window. I have to fix this before this is installed. Maybe I can pound it out with a mallet or something. I mean, that's way off. Way off. Oh, that worked. The metal actually got stretched, I think. Oh man, this kind of stinks. This is likely never going to be exactly correct again. I think the metal got stretched. Yeah, it definitely got stretched. You can see the stretch right there. That's unfortunate. Well, I'll patch it back up the best I can, and that's all we can do. It's getting better. We've got a ways to go still. Problem is, as I correct it this way, it's going to come up this way, so we might have to just correct it this way and leave it alone. I guess it doesn't really matter. It won't interfere with the physical fit if it's protruding on the top like that. It's only if it's protruding this way will it cause a problem with the way it sits in the window. So we might just have to leave it there. And that's not the way it's supposed to be either, but that will let it sit in the window much better than it would have before. Alright, so let's adjust this to, what did we say, 76? Yeah, 76. So we'll adjust it such that these holes are 76 apart. Alright, that's about good. I should have put some oil on these screws. Perfect. Okay, so now I have to figure out how I'm going to get it in the window, hold it there, and then screw in the screws simultaneously. That is not going to be easy. These definitely have to come out first. Probably go and get the electric screwdriver for this. I might have a shot at doing it if I can operate the screws with only one hand. And I think I'm actually going to take this window screen out as well. It might just like break the screen. Okay, that's easy enough. This is really heavy to be working at this kind of an angle. But I think if I get a good balance on it, I might be able to do it. Out of balance still. I don't know what these weigh, but it's got to be up there. This is definitely heavy. don't think I can do this one-handed. I think I need to get something on the bottom to prop it up. What I might have to do to get this up here is put a... Oh, this stuff isn't in the way this is. I might have to put a 2x4 in down here just to hold it. If I had that, it'd be fine. There's no way I can do it like that. Maybe if all this stuff wasn't in the way, perhaps, but not with all the stuff in the way. I think what I'm going to try is I'll put a screw in. This is 57.5. 56 or 57. 57.5. I'll put a screw in down here to try to sit it on. And maybe if I have at least one side secured, then I can do it. This thing is no joke. I mean, I've installed some pretty heavy equipment by myself, and this I'm kind of struggling with this. Of course, it doesn't help that we gotta go all the way up to the ceiling. Now, if I put it, just rested on those screws, I should be able to get it screwed in, I think. Okay, I think this I can do. Okay, it's in place. That was much easier with the screws there. Don't think I've been able to do that otherwise. Alright, now with that in place, I got to get some pieces of wood to block off the bottom, and then we can run it. I'm just going to use the cardboard again for now, and then later on we'll cut something better, but I am going to screw it in place this time instead of stapling it, because we're going to have some serious air moving through here. That should be pretty good. There's not going to be a whole lot of air resistance because there's no screen in the way. Won't be a lot of pressure, air pressure. Alright, let's get this camera plugged back in. Where's the Variac? Now this is centrifugal start, so we can't start it slow. But once it's started, we can slow it down to an extent. If we change it to a PSC motor, we could better regulate the speeds. I don't know if it's low or high on the top or bottom. It doesn't seem to say. We'll try the top position first. Make sure this is secure. Yeah, seems to be. So we can slow it down until, okay, that was too slow. The switch was cutting out. So yeah, I guess we can't slow it down very much then. Man, that sure is quiet. That is nice. So we can't slow it down much. That's okay. I don't know if that was high or low. Let's try this setting. That was high. Yeah, actually, that's really about as slow as you'd ever need to run it. And that's below conversation volume right now. A little bit rattly. Just the grill there. Alright, I guess I'll take the Variac out of the picture because it's, so we're not going to be able to use it at all. That belt definitely needs to be replaced. That's fine, we knew that. Hopefully it works for at least a couple hours. That's got some serious startup power to it. That's taken 4.8 amps. I think it was 4.2 on the tag, so it's a slight over. 392 watts, power factor 0.69. Isn't bad for shaded coal. It's fairly respectable. I can feel a lot of air moving around the room here. This is very powerful. These are definitely among the most powerful window fans made. Those large Sears, Dayton, Vernco branded ones I have, I think that those offer this some competition, although those are much louder. Alright, let's go assess the airflow from around the house. Holy mackerel. There is a ton of air rushing through this stairwell. This is actually way more than I was expecting. You can probably even hear the wind noise in the camera. Wow. That is insane. I've closed all the windows except for the ones in the living room. There is so much air moving through. Look at that, it's even moving that tassel. That is insane. Wow, I knew those were powerful, but I wasn't expecting that much. Alright, so now, oh wow, this is going to work really good. So now, in concept, what we can do is we can go around the house and we can open the windows I have window open in the kitchen, strong breeze coming in through the kitchen window. And I have two windows open in the bedroom. And there is so much airflow coming through these windows. Look at that fan moving. That's not on. And the air is just blasting through all four of these windows. I bet if I open the door here, we're still going to get a significant pull from this room as well. Yep. So, wow. That's insane. I can't believe how much air this is pushing through the house right now. You know what else is nice about this configuration is that every room that has an open window has a nice breeze and it's totally quiet, because all the noise, and not that it's not loud at all, but any of the noise is downstairs. So there's nice breeze here in the living room and it's quiet. Nice breeze in the kitchen, in the living room here, and it's quiet. It's great. This really has exceeded my expectations. I was not expecting it to work this well. Even down here, it's not that loud. I couldn't make videos and stuff with this running, but it's not bad. Come on, tripod. And that's on high. If we go down to low, I think a chunk of the belt just broke off. On low, that's below conversation level. It's hardly making any noise. That's quieter than a typical box fan on low. just went to walk around upstairs. Even on low, the amount of air that's moving through the house is still very noticeable. On low, it's 2.3 amps, which is a little more palatable. 166 watts with a power factor of 0.59. Yeah, I think it might be worth swapping to a PSC motor. Normally I like to keep things original, and of course I wouldn't discard the motor. But if I could get something that accepts the original 4-bolt mounting apparatus, I think it would make more sense. Because 4.8 amps is a lot of power for a fan. I mean, you might as well run a small air conditioner at that rate. There's definitely some vibration issues here, but I'm sure we can fix that. Wow, what a remarkable piece of equipment. Absolutely fantastic. Well, that exceeded my expectations in all categories. That pulled a tremendous amount of air through the upstairs. And quite frankly, if I put another one of those big Sears Vernco, Air Queen, whatever the heck brand those things are, if I put one of those in the other window, you can get a hurricane moving through the house. Of course, it'll be a lot louder. This is, I mean, the noise level to airflow ratio from this is outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Well, that was a major success. I do want to replace the belt before we use it anymore. There's a couple chunks I saw came off the belt during operation. So I want to use it much more with this belt. But we'll definitely work on this over the winter. And in the springtime, this is going to be great. In the spring and the fall, this will be fantastic at night. Okay, now I got to get it out. Which is going to be probably a little bit easier than getting it in. I'll just follow the same procedure in reverse. I'll put 2 screws at the bottom here to hold it. One there, so it'll rest on the screw. I can't believe how well this works. That is just outstanding. I had wanted one of these for years, so I figured they probably perform very well. I could just never find one. This one I got for, I don't know, 20 bucks or some ridiculously low price at the fan auction. And was it this year or last year? And what's neat about this one is that this unit was pulled from the previous years at a firehouse. This unit was located at the firehouse and was removed on scene and auctioned off to raise funds for the meeting. So not only is it a really cool piece in good condition, but it has that unique history behind it which to me is one of the things that makes this stuff so interesting. You know what? This isn't so bad if I have those screws in place. That wasn't bad at all. There's a lot of heavy lifting you can do yourself, and it's all in a matter of how you do it. Now, I've installed air conditioners that weighs a couple hundred pounds myself, and it's all a matter of how. You got to use mechanical advantage and use different things to work with you. And you'll be surprised at what you can do by yourself. Put the window screen back in so we can try to keep some of the stinking bugs outside. And this is partially broken, like everything else around here. That's not vintage. Okay. Now we'll go put this thing back where it was stored before, and we'll chip away at this during the lull of the winter, because this is something we can work on inside.